Hey guys, this is Subhashish Mishra, your test coach. Today we will learn how to handle checkbox in Selenium WebDriver. When you will test or automate any web application, definitely you will find some checkbox which you need to automate. So we will see how to do it through Selenium. This is also very important from interview perspective. Okay, so let's start. First thing, we need to understand what is checkbox. First, let me show you in the website. So this is our automationpractice.com, which we are using for our automation learning. Okay, so if you have logged into this application, then if you want to go to this my details, okay, and here I have some personal information, right? My personal information. If you click on your name and then personal information, so here you can see some checkboxes, right? Sign up for the newsletter, receive special offers from our partners. So if you just click on this checkbox will be selected. If you will just again click one more time, it will be unchecked. So these are the checkboxes. Okay. So what is checkbox then? So checkbox is a web element which is used for the selection of one or multiple options as a result of the answer to the provided question. So here the question is, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, yes or no. If yes, you just click it. If no, don't click it. So you just need to click if you want to select a checkbox. Okay. So the checkbox can be turned on or off, which means you can check it or uncheck it. A checkbox is the one that is seen as the tick mark like this, and unchecked is the one which is unticked, right? So the checkbox is also known as selection box or tick box, the small box inside which a tick mark appears on clicking the checkbox, and when clicked again, then the check mark disappears and the box is unchecked. So if you want to look at the HTML structure, let me show you. So I'm just inspecting it. So here you can see, right, input type equal to checkbox, ID equal to newsletter, name equal to newsletter. So what is the type here? The type is checkbox here. Okay. So if you want to see for this one, let me show you. Again, this is also a checkbox. Okay. So here you see all the checkboxes are being created using the HTML tag input. Here you can see input. Here also you can see input and an attribute named as type. Okay. And the value is checkbox. Okay. It means the type of the input element is checkbox. If something HTML structure you are seeing like this, starting with input and type and the value is checkbox, then it will be a checkbox. Okay. Now we will see how we can locate this and we will perform specific actions through our Selenium WebDriver code. Okay. So let's go to our Eclipse and let me create a new class. Okay. We'll name it as checkbox. Okay. First few lines I will copy from our previous classes. So you understand from our previous video why we use this. We are setting the property of Chrome driver, then we are creating an instance of WebDriver, then I'm adding some sleep, so we can see, we can wait for some time, and then we are maximizing the browser window, then we are navigating to automationpractice.com. okay, so this is the basic thing we are doing. Okay, I will also copy few more things, like we want to so here login, right? So first we will log in, then sign in button, email address, password. Okay, then we'll also copy. I'm not rewriting the same code because you understand it previously. Okay, we will focus on how to use the particular things here, and this is the submit button. Let me copy and I'll tell you exactly what we are doing here. Okay, so let me just explain you what we did here. So this much I explained. This is when navigating to automationpractice.com. We'll wait some time here. Then this is the sign in button. So sign in button is nothing but, if I'll go here, if I'll sign out, and if I'll, it's taking time, yeah. So first I need to click on the sign in button. This much code is, we are clicking on the sign in button. Okay, then we don't need to wait this much time. I'll put some less time. Then we have this email address text box. This is the email address text box. Then we have the password. We are entering the password. Okay, then we have the submit button. Then finally we are submitting it. Okay, let me remove this. So this is what we understand from our previous video. If you want to know how we are doing it, please do watch it. Do watch our previous video. Okay, now what we'll do, once we are submitted here, so let me do the same thing manually also. Sign in. Then the next thing what we need to do, we need to click on this my personal information. So let's get the XPath for this. So I'll just inspect, and so here we see the XPath we will use class. Okay, let's see, it is I@, icon user. So if you don't know how to write XPath, please do watch our previous video. So here you can see 1-of-1 match. So this is the XPath for my personal information. So let's write the code. Okay, then what we can write, web element, then we'll say my personal information, anything you can write, info is equal to driver dot find element, then by dot XPath, and here we will give the XPath, right? So we have identified the element. Then what we need to do, my personal info dot click. Why we are doing click? Because manually when we are doing also, we are clicking here, right? So the same thing we will do through automation code. Okay, so once we click here, we are landing in this page. Then what we need to do, we need to click on these two link, right? That is, we need to see, this is what is important for us, right? These are the checkbox we want to see, we want to click on these checkboxes, right? So what we will do now, first we need to identify the XPath for this, right? So again, right click, inspect, and what we are seeing here, input type equal to checkbox, ID equal to newsletter. So we are seeing ID here, right? So what we will do, we'll write input, then @ ID equal to newsletter, right? We are seeing 1 of 1 match. So it is matching, we will take it. Okay, and again what we'll write, will write web element. Okay, then what is that? Sign up. Sign up checkbox is equal to driver dot find element, okay, by dot xpath. You can use xpath or you can use any other locator also, that is fine, it is up to your choice. Okay, but you need to identify that particular web element. Once you identify it, then what you need to do? Sign up checkbox dot click. Okay, because we are clicking here. So always remember, when you are doing for any checkbox, you need to perform click action. Okay, so you can use click method. Okay, similarly we can write for the other one is receive special characters. Okay, inspect. So sorry, let me do it again. Okay, so here we see ID as option, so we'll just write it option. Let's see, yeah, this is also fine, and the checkbox name is receive special offers, so we'll just write receive special offer checkbox, and we need to change this, right? This is the xpath. Okay, then this web element dot click. Okay, so if you would have noticed, we have used two web elements and then we are performing some click. I'll just wait some more time here so you can see all these things, what is happening, right? So I'll put 6 here, I'll put 2 seconds here, and then finally we'll put 2 seconds here, then we'll close it, right? So driver dot close. Okay, now let's execute and see how this code is working, right? If we are able to click on this particular two checkbox or not. Okay, so let's execute the program. Right click, run a Java application. So the browser is launched and maximized. automationpractice.com is opening. So it should click on sign in button now. It should enter email address and password, then click on sign in. Now we are in my personal information, so it should click on my personal information now, and here it should click on both the checkboxes. Yes, it is clicking, you can see that. Now browser is closed, so we are able to click on the checkbox. So now we will see how to validate this, right? So Selenium WebDriver provides certain methods that we can use for a pre and post validation of the states of a checkbox. So these methods are is selected, is displayed, is enabled. So previously we have studied about this is selected method, is displayed method, and is enabled method, right? In our previous video we have learnt about it. So what is this is selected method? So is selected method checks whether a checkbox is selected or not. And what about is displayed method? Is displayed method checks whether a checkbox displays on the web page or not. And how you will use is enabled here? Is enabled method will check whether the checkbox is enabled or not. Okay, so we can use these methods to validate the current state of the checkbox. For example, if you want to validate after clicking the checkbox whether we have checked or ticked or not, right? So we can use is selected method. So is selected method will let us know if it is selected or not. So let's see how we can do it, right? So here you see, let me close this. So here we are clicking, right? So before we click, right, we will perform few things, like we'll see whether that is available or not, right, or whether it is displayed or not, or whether it is enabled or not. To do that, you can use this is enabled and is displayed method. But if you specifically, if you want to check if it is selected or not, if it is not selected, then you want to click it. Then what you will do, you just write this sign up checkbox. So sign up checkbox dot is enabled, you can see here, right, sorry, is selected. So this will return a boolean value. So what we'll write, we'll write boolean, for example, sign in is equal to, okay, this one what I have written. Now what we'll do, if sign is equal to false, then you perform the click option, right? So what I'm telling is, if sign is false, then you click. If it is true, you don't have to click. So if you just want to see what is the value also, checkbox is checkbox value. Okay, so here we are telling if checkbox is selected or not. If it is not selected, then we will click it. Similarly, we will use is enabled method. So if the button is enabled, then we will click here, right? So what we'll do, we'll write boolean is enabled equal to, so this checkbox dot is enabled method, right? Fine. Then we'll do a sysout. So here we'll write is enabled value is plus is enabled. Okay. Then what we'll write, if is enabled equal to true, then we'll say click it. You can ask me why we used false here, why you use true here. We use true because if the checkbox is enabled, then only we can click. If the sign in, why we used false here, if the checkbox is not selected, then only we can select it or we can click it. That's why here it is false, here it is true. Okay, so let me execute and show you. So our browser is launched, maximized. automationpractice.com is loading. Clicked on sign in button, email address, password is entered. Clicked on, it should click on my personal information now. Okay, now it should click on sign up for the newsletter and receive special offers checkbox. Okay, both are clicked. It should close the browser now. Yeah, so what we are seeing here, see, checkbox selected value is false and is enabled value is true. Okay, so this is how you can use this is select method, is enabled method or is displayed method to verify if the checkbox is selected or not. So the basic thing is, you have used a locator to identify the checkbox, then you used click method to click on it, and before you click you can use this isSelected method to check if that checkbox is selected or not, and if it is not selected then you can perform the click operation, and again after you click you can again verify using this isSelected method if it is really clicked or not. Okay, and similarly you can use isEnabled method to just verify if that checkbox is enabled or not, so you can perform the click operation. So this is all about how to handle checkbox in Selenium WebDriver. I hope this is helpful for you.
Thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try to explain it. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel.